And they say spring is around the corner, but I am not entirely convinced. So we've got a delicious big batch soup to warm us up in today's Daily Dish. All right, take a look at all the ingredients you're going to need to follow along for this one. And Chef Dev is braving the cold for us today. Dev, have I told you how grateful we are to you? How are you going to stay warm out there?
Chef Dev is back. Cue the smoke. Okay? So I'm going to use the steam to keep me warm, okay?
Perfect.
What we're doing today, Tracy, and all our beautiful viewers out there, we're making a really delicious soup inspired by Southeast Asia. What do I mean by inspired by Southeast Asia? Thai food is very, very popular, and I have a lot of Thai ingredients here today. I got things cooking outside because it's very cold, and if I had to start everything from scratch, it would take a lot of time for it to heat up. So we're going to start with lemongrass. So we have a bulb of lemongrass here, and a lot of people probably don't know how to break it down. So all I do is I break it in half, and then from here, we can get a close-up on that, right? We'll see that the bulb is right here, and this is the root part, and we want the top part that's nice and pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finely slice that up, and I'm going to add that into my mix. The key with making soups is to infuse it with a lot of flavor. You might be watching this, and you might be thinking at home, you might be amazing at making soups, but you might also think, when I'm at home and I'm making soups, it's missing that punch, it's missing that depth, it's lacking flavor. So we need to add big flavor into the soup so that, you know, our family and our friends love us. So next ingredient that we're going to do that's very traditional is an ingredient called Galangal. This is from the ginger family. And it might look a little bit odd because this was dried galangal that I rehydrated, similar to how you would rehydrate a dried mushroom. This is a way of preserving that root. And then what I'm going to do is slice this and add it in here. This soup is chicken and chickpeas and a bunch of vegetables. It is very nutritious. And that's one of the reasons why I like to do it. On these cold days, I like to get outside and I like to start tossing some beautiful veg, and we can build out a really nice soup. We're going to add in a bit of cauliflower. And Tracy, you're a fan of these types of soups with cauliflower and chickpeas and lots of spices and aromats?
You know, if I ever had to choose, I would choose anything over a soup. But if I'm going to have a soup, then yes, it's got to have big flavor, a ton of ingredients. It's got to be something where, like, you're really feeling the punch of all those ingredients. And I like the fact that it's Thai. I love Thai anything.
Yes. Thai flavors, when you're working with lemongrass, kaffir lime leaf, galangal, palm sugar, coconut milk, these are very, very beautiful flavors. Thai basil, etc., etc. I'm going to come in with a little bit of curry powder. Curry powder, as soon as it hits the steam, it's going to start to smell. The whole neighborhood's going to wonder what is going on in this kid's backyard. Next, we're going to come in. You smell that? I know you smell it. I know you smell it there behind the camera. Then we have the coriander. I'm going to come in with a bit of brown sugar. Now that this has been cooking for a minute or two, I can come in with my garlic. So this is a little bit of an easier recipe in terms of everybody get into the pool. Always season as you go. You might think, what is that? It's just salt, okay? Salt's gonna go in, and we're gonna move this all around. and we're gonna move this all around. The smells are just incredible. I already have some chicken in here. And what I have, I'm going to give you a close-up. I have everything in plastic for the most part because I'm outside. Whenever you're working outside, it's nice to avoid glass. But here's some chicken that I thinly sliced, the chicken thighs. If you want to use chicken breast, you can totally do that. If you want to go vegetarian, maybe let's introduce some root vegetables in here. Maybe let's do eggplant. Maybe let's build the curry and then float tofu in at the end. Lots of options for you here. Once you have the base of this soup and you have these aromatics going, it's really up to you what you'd want to do. And here, I just want to give you guys a quick close-up here. You see that chicken? We have a nice sear. Color is flavor. So don't crowd the pot. Don't rush it. I'm using a wider pot here, so it's easier to show you what's going on. At home, you'd probably use a medium pot, a soup-type pot, but get the color out of it. Once the rawness of these spices is gone, I added in some red chili while Madam Tracy was speaking, and now we're going to come in with a little bit of stock. The stock is now going to cool everything down, but it's going to give a chance for everything to intermingle. If you ever hear someone talking about food and they say intermingle, it might be the first time you've ever heard that, but believe me, it's a good thing, okay? We're going to come in and tear in a bunch of basil as well, and I have some cilantro stalks. So now what I want to do is get the heat back up in here. So what I'm going to do, move this over here, clean up my station, splash of lemon juice goes in, a splash of brown sugar, And always, I love when I have so many ingredients that at the beginning of the segment, Tracy won't even bother telling you how many things are in there because it'll take up the whole segment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to show you a finished version. So again, Chef Dev is back. Cue smoke. Okay, there it is. And I have a clean spoon now. And here's the finished version, guys. Really, really pretty. All that cauliflower has now soaked up all those ingredients. You can tell that you have a nice colorful stock here now too. The smell of the cumin, the coriander, the celery, the onion, the garlic, the lemongrass, the galangal. There's so much flavor. If this soup didn't have this much flavor, I wouldn't be outside here cooking, okay? So you plate this up like this, get some chickpeas, get some cilantro, get some of that veg, and you place this in front, right in front so everyone can see. And I'm gonna tear some cilantro on top. Very simple. Again, this is a soup that you don't have to follow this exact recipe. Use what you have in your fridge, use what's at home, but listen to the techniques and tips that I've provided with you here today, okay? Beautiful Thai, Southeast Asian inspired soup with chickpeas, beautiful chicken thigh, and a plethora of vegetables. Let us go.
So good. Now, he makes a mean soup, but I also want to add, you held all those shots for like 4 or 5 seconds so Dan could get in and get his close-ups. I give you a 10 on 10. That is incredible, Dev. Not just a chef, he's a television pro. That recipe up on our website, cityline.tv.